Live from Gahanna, WGLH TV presents Lincoln Live. With Reese Thompson and Alexi Whitaker.
Today, it's finally time for an event that almost didn't happen. We'll get you ready for prom.
It's a controversial topic that impacts all students. We'll examine the school dress code and what you can do to get it changed.
To infinity and beyond, some students are using outer space as inspiration.
They provide the voices and she provides the music. How an unlikely journey led Miss A to Gahanna.
This is Lincoln Live.
Good morning, Lincoln, and welcome to Lincoln Live. I'm Reese Thompson.
And I'm Alexi Whitaker. How are you doing today, Reese?
I'm doing great. Plus, it's Friday, so that helps. How about you, Alexi?
Well, just like you said, it is the best day of the week, so I can't complain. We have a great show planned for today, so as we start, we have a lot of important news and information.
We sure do.
And not only about events going on in the school, but on a national level as well.
This is obviously a school news station, and our focus is the news in our school.
But sometimes news in the real world is news in our school, and the Derek Chauvin verdict this week is certainly one of those times.
We, the jury in the above entitled matter as to count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty.
Derek Chauvin is now in jail for killing George Floyd.
The jury deliberated for only 10 hours before reaching a guilty verdict on all 3 counts.
The murder and the aftermath has escalated racial tensions in our country. Gahanna-Lincoln takes pride in its diversity and acceptance of all members of our school family.
So we asked 2 of our student leaders for their thoughts. We also asked the Gahanna Police Department for a statement. Here they are.
1, George Floyd's sons and their daughters and their sons can stop worrying. That's when justice has been served. When mothers don't have to pray in a way that's so much different than the way white mothers pray for their children, that's when justice has been served.
I'm thankful for the verdict that happened, and I believe it was the right choice, but at the same time, we have a long way to go, and I don't feel as if justice has been served quite yet. I think justice will be served when the system changes.
We respect the decision of the jury. We appreciate their hard work and believe they returned a just verdict. With the trial over, it's our hope that we can all come together, heal, and forge a constructive path.
Thank you, Jason and Kayla, for your perspectives. And thank you, Officer Huffman and the Gahanna Police Department for giving us that statement.
Now let's switch focus to a major school event.
It's the day that many seniors thought would never come, but it's finally here. Prom is tomorrow night, and the Student Council has managed to plan prom despite a lot of restrictions due to the pandemic.
The posters are up, the decorations have been ordered, and now it's just a matter of executing the plan.
We went down to the Student Council room to get some last-minute comments regarding prom.
Here's Student Council member Aaron Sakwa with a few reminders.
First off, it's a senior prom only. I am sorry, juniors, but it is not your time yet. Second of all, please do not bring any extra shoes or anything like that because you will not be allowed to switch shoes during the prom. And also, please bring a mask. We are trying to have a safe and fun prom.
Thanks, guys. It should be a great time. Now we want to head over to Valleydale Ballroom where prom will take place tomorrow night. And that's where we sent Connor Mallon. Good morning, Connor. How are you?
Good morning, Alexi. I'm doing fine.
I know you have some more prom info for us.
I do. So students will be arriving here at the Valleydale Ballroom tomorrow night for prom. Before they get here, there are some important things that they need to know. In order to make prom a reality, there are some accommodations that have been made. First, due to social distancing requirements and the size of our senior class, there are 2 proms tomorrow night. The first one starts at 6 and the second starts at 8. Temperature checks will be completed at the door and students must be seated when not dancing or having photos taken. The dance floor will be marked with a grid and students will need to stay in their designated grid. So, it may seem like a lot, but all precautions are being taken to ensure a fun and safe prom. And Principal Williams has a few words for our seniors.
I Hey, Lincoln seniors, this year prom is going to look a little different, but that's all right. We're going to maintain our social distancing, wear our mask, and use our other mitigation strategies for prom. So this year at prom, all guests will have to wear a mask, and we will have to stay properly socially distanced throughout the venue. There will be no group, no pit dancing or couple dancing at prom this year, and I know that's a little different, but in order to maintain safety protocols, those are the things that we will have to do to maintain safety. I am excited for prom this Saturday. Can't wait to see you all dressed up. Please be safe. Take care of yourselves that night and do the right thing.
Thanks, Principal Williams. Well, that's the story from here at the Valleydale Ballroom. Now back to Alexi at the news desk.
So Connor, will there be a photo booth this year?
Unfortunately, there won't be a photo booth, but Studio 187 will be here to take the traditional prom photos. It should be a great night.
Thanks, Connor. Prom should be a great time. Let's have a safe prom, seniors.
Interesting hands-on learning takes place every day throughout Lincoln High School. So now, let's take a trip through the halls and take you into a few classrooms to see what they're up to. We start with the space technology class. Students in our space tech class are working on their final project of the year. It's titled Project Vesta. The students are working to program robots to operate and inspect unknown landscapes to simulate rovers on another planet. Here are some students from the class to tell you more about what they've learned.
We did a robotics unit where we did battle bots, and we got to customize all kinds of things and make them really cool. And now it's kind of like doing a NASA internship.
We're building and programming a rover that can take materials and gather them for us, as well as build things.
There are many different expeditions we can do, such as picking up different types of specimens, like gravel and sands, and examining them.
Thanks, guys. That looks awesome. From building robots to testing boats, there's always something active going on in our science classrooms. The website BioOhio defines bioscience as applying knowledge to develop biological solutions that sustain, restore, and improve the quality of life for humans, plants, and animals in our world. Well, bioscience students are definitely applying their knowledge. They're making biodiesel from a variety of vegetable oils and then testing them on mini boats to see which one is the best to use. Here are a few students to describe what they learned.
We did 2 experiments, one using vegetable oil, and then the second experiment, different groups were assigned different oils. And what we found was that vegetable oil worked better for the boats than other oils such as avocado oil or coconut oil.
We've noticed that a lot of the fossil fuels, they're producing obviously a lot of pollution, other factors that will harm our planet. So a lot of farmers have turned to producing their own biofuel in order to run their own farm equipment. It's better for the environment, it's biodegradable, and we have a better understanding of how exactly this is done.
Thanks. That looks interesting. Speaking of science, our own Lily Sager loves being in the lab doing experiments, so much that she has another installment of her ongoing series, Lily in the Lab, with chemistry teacher Mr. Varshani. Here she is.
All right, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to hopefully light some bubbles on fire, and our wonderful assistant reporter here will perform the experiment herself. I need you to dip your hands in this. Make sure your hands are wet in a second. But what we're going to do is we're going to take some methane from our lab here, and we're going to make some methane bubbles. And in the back, right now, our chemistry students are learning different types of reactions. So we have combustion of a hydrocarbon, and in this case, our hydrocarbon is methane. So anytime that we combust methane, we produce water vapor and carbon dioxide gas. Now we're going to make some methane bubbles with some gas here. So hold it out far, and here's a flame. Again, got our safety goggles on, and see what happens.
Ooh, that was fun.
You want to try it one more time?
Yes.
And there you guys go. You have a combustion reaction.
Thanks, Lily. I sure do love bubbles. The science classes aren't the only ones working on exciting projects. Various art classes across the school have been working hard and adding the finishing touches to some interesting pieces. From printmaking to ceramics, we have some very talented students. So, without further ado, here's the GLHS Art of the Week.
Those are impressive. From the visual arts to the performing arts, it's time to check in with our music and theater programs because another opening night is just a few days away. And to do that, Alyssa Shope joins us live from the auditorium. Good morning, Alyssa. That stage is about to be pretty busy this week.
Yes, it certainly is. Here in the auditorium, it's final rehearsal week for Godspell, which is the first live audience production of the year. Godspell is a musical retelling of the Gospel of Matthew, which takes place in modern-day New York City. Curtain opens 2 weeks from today. The show runs for 3 days. Friday and Saturday are at 7:30. Sunday is at 2. The members of our theater company are excited to get back on stage in front of a live audience. Here they are.
I'm so excited for this show. We haven't got to perform in over a year now, so the show's been a long time coming. There have been many obstacles to overcome, but I'm so proud of what we've been able to accomplish since January when we started working on the show. It's just so much fun to finally get to do a musical again, and I'm so excited for everyone to see our hard work.
I'm really excited because we just finished blocking the show, so we have the full thing complete and we can kind of see everything thrown together, and people haven't really seen something from the theater program this year, so I'm really excited just to show them what they expect every year from us, and it's going to be really great for the community, I think, and they're going to really enjoy what we've put together for them.
Thanks, guys. But students aren't the only ones with talent in our school. Since our TV studio is right next to the choir room, I always get to hear the beautiful sound of our choir accompanist playing the piano. Reese Thompson went into further detail about this talented woman, Mrs. Arishina, her life, and how she became the amazing choir accompanist she is today.
When you walk past the choir room, you may hear a familiar sound of a beautiful piano playing. But little do people know about the talented person who can play so well. This is Mrs. Arishina, the accompanist for Gehanna Choir. But it wasn't the easiest journey for her to get here when she started her career as a musician in a different country.
I started to play piano and I liked it a lot, and later I was very happy with this. We played with my dad, lots of music and duets with my grandma. 8 years at a musical school, then 4 years in the college, and 5 years I did my master and bachelor's degree in the Moscow State Gnessin Schools Academy right now.
Mrs. A decided to make a big decision. She packed up with her family and moved to America to hopefully find a job here as a pianist. She landed a job interview here at the high school when something unexpected happened.
When Mrs. Arishina first came to interview for this position, we wanted to hear her play piano a little bit. So I put a couple choir songs in front of her to see if she could play what we call an open score, which is kind of a soprano, alto, tenor, bass part. And she did great. And then I said, let's try with accompaniment only, and she did great. And she said, let me play something else for you. And she just started in on Bach and Beethoven and Mozart, and we were just blown away.
After her interview, Mrs. A was immediately hired. Her piano skills are not something you see when you pass the average musician. Growing up at the Moscow Conservatory of Music, which is equivalent to a Juilliard, she realized that piano was her calling and that this job at Gehanna was meant for her.
I want to play piano all my life, continue, and I'm very happy to work at Gehenna High School here. It's my 13th year here, and I'm very happy to play with all musicians here.
She is just the most selfless person. Like, you know, she really doesn't get any of the praise for what happens in choir. She doesn't get any glory. She doesn't really get a moment of glory, and she does such hard work. She's in there practicing all the time. She's just constantly going, and I think a lot of that like goes unseen, not unappreciated, but definitely unseen by people like audiences and even us. Sometimes we don't even see all the work that she puts into it.
Mrs. Arishna, also known as Miss A, is a crucial part to the music program here at Lincoln, and things would not be the same without her. Her skills are a big reason why our music program stands out from other schools, and she is always a light when you walk into the choir room. This is Reese Thompson for Lincoln Live.
Thanks, Reese. I'm so glad that I now get to know more about the amazing person behind the beautiful piano playing next door. Now I'll turn it back to Reese in the TV studio.
Thanks, Alyssa. How can people get their tickets to Godspell?
That's a good question. You can purchase your tickets online at showtix4u.com.
Sounds good. I will be there. I hope you can make it too, Alyssa.
Thanks, Reese.
Now we approach a topic that has controversy among students and staff. The dress code is something that teachers must enforce and students question, with some questions being around the validity of our current dress code and the steps students can take if they wanted to make changes. Caroline Maddox decided to decode the dress code and find out what are the real opinions and what is the process for changing it.
When deciding what to wear every day, there are many factors that people take into consideration, from comfort, style, and especially the dress code. Both faculty and students are to follow the dress code, and both express their own opinions, especially teachers.
I think in most buildings it's smart to have some type of guideline. I think, I know there's been some commotion recently on social media regarding our particular dress code, and I think this time period where school doesn't look at all like school is a great time for reassessment.
I do think that we do need to have a dress code here at Gehenna. I think there is some value in having some regulation on some of the things that students are wearing. Some of it is just to try to keep up with the recent fashion trends. Maybe you're not sure of what some of the students might be wearing, and so I think some regulation is good, but I do think that there should be some flexibility and fluidity.
It isn't just teachers who are voicing their opinions on the dress code.
Personally, I think the dress code is very, very outdated, and it can be seen as sexist from the women's point of view, and it's not important in our education.
Our dress code has a lot of problems involving sexism, involving what clothes are actually available to students, involving who gets to make the decision on what students are wearing.
It is important that there is an environment that makes sure that students feel like themselves, and with the dress code being put in place, there are some concerns that students may not even know why we have a dress code.
When students were asked the question, do you agree with the following should be a part of the dress code? No exposed midriff shall be exposed when arms are raised above the head. Out of 154 responses, 8% listed yes, a shocking 72 listed no, and 22 listed no opinion.
With a lot of people listing no into their responses, it seems that a lot of people are not happy with what's happening within the dress code. And if they wanted to change it, they could. But the real reason is to how.
I've had students reach out to me regarding their concerns and wanting change regarding the dress code. And my goal as your principal is always to help elevate your voice. So I just listen closely to what it is that they would like to see happen at Lincoln High School. So I would say the formalized process is just making us aware. Our doors are always open. We're always willing to listen to kids.
I believe it would be important to have student voice as a part of that, and possibly a student committee who would like to share some of their thoughts and ideas. And probably, a group of teachers, administrators, along with those students who would all work together to discuss what's necessary and what's not necessary in our current dress code. I think the key is that we all want our students and our staff to be safe, but we also want our students to be able to express themselves, and dress is a huge part of the way that our students do express themselves.
Listening to all sides when it comes to a problem is key. This is Caroline Maddox for Lincoln Live.
Thank you, Caroline, for those answers. A group of students has been working with Principal Williams since November to update the dress code to make sure it's both inclusive and fair. If you'd like to voice your opinion and contribute to this focus group, check your Google Classroom for a form that Principal Williams sent.
So that brings us to today's Twitter poll. Here's what we want to know. What is the one area of the dress code that you want most updated? Is it the area concerning length of shorts and skirts, or the area covering spaghetti straps and shoulders, or the part regarding no bare midriffs? Vote now on our Twitter at Lincoln Live TV. The poll will be open for the next 24 hours. Again, that's at Lincoln Live TV. It's April, and that means the Gahanna-Lincoln spring sports seasons are in full swing. So let's head over to Ashley Provan with the look at Lincoln sports. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning, Reese.
I hear we have an athlete who is currently ranked in the top 10 in the United States.
We do, Reese. I'll have that for you in a minute. But first, our boys volleyball team is on a winning streak. The JV and varsity teams both swept New Albany. The varsity team came out swinging and led for the first whole set, winning 25-16. The second set was off to a rocky start, but big hits from Jackson Dubner and McCord Riegler helped the Lions take back the lead and win the second set 25-12. The final set was close the whole time. New Albany took a late 17-14 lead, but the Lions battled back and tied it 18-18. The Lions went on to take the 25-19 win for the three-set sweep. Here are Tyler Monk and Connor Tilton with their reactions after the game.
Felt really good. You know, this is our second time playing them, so we really had to come out because we knew they were a little upset that we won at their house, so we really wanted to come out and win. And, you know, it's an OCC game, so they're always competitive, so we just wanted to come out and just show what we can do to not just the region, but the whole state. Really.
It allowed us to be in control of our destiny for the OCCs. Now it's all in our hands. We just have to beat every team again, and we should be able to do that.
Thanks, guys. Our outdoor track team has been doing super well in their season, and one specific sophomore has been ranked 6th in the nation in 100-meter hurdles. Her name is Camden Bentley, and she's continuing to push herself hard to improve her time, and she's already improved from 13.94 seconds to 13.87 seconds. Here's Camden to talk about the rest of her season.
Just for me, just to keep dropping down my times and just be the best hurdler that I can be this season. Goals would be to place first at state in both hurdle events.
Congrats, Camden, on a great season so far. Not only do we produce Lincoln Live down here in the studio, but we also produce the Lincoln Sports Zone. On the next Lincoln Sports Zone, we'll introduce you to our boys 4x100 relay team and show you just how important precise timing and teamwork are for the guys to be successful. Also, they're having a great season, but their season is on hold because they're in quarantine. We will speak with the varsity softball team. So that's a quick look at Lincoln Sports. Back to Reese and Alexi.
Thank you, Ashley. I'm hopeful the sports teams will have a successful season. In just 4 years, a new high school will open here in Gahanna. But for now, all attention is on the newest elementary school in our district.
When you walk around Gahanna, you can feel the excitement over the brand new build of Lincoln Elementary.
Construction is on schedule and the building is expected to open in the fall.
The crews have been working hard and they have already started moving furniture into the rooms.
We caught up with Superintendent Barrett to see what he's loving about this school.
We're so excited because we're growing, especially in Jefferson Township. So we built this elementary school to be a little bit bigger. It'll house 750 students. It has 30 classrooms, so 5 classrooms per grade level. And we'll get the keys to the building sometime in early June. So lots of activity this summer. We'll have a ribbon cutting ceremony. And we're also excited to begin phase 2 of our master facilities plan, which includes additions to Blacklick Elementary, High Point Elementary, all 3 of our middle schools, and a brand new high school, which, as big as this looks, it's going to be probably 5 times the size of this because it'll be over 400,000 square feet.
Thanks, Mr. Barrett. Well, Lincoln, it looks like that's all the news we have for today.
Before we leave, we want to acknowledge that school can be very stressful this time of year with exams and assignments.
That's right, but Miss Sherg's kindergarten class knows a thing or two about relieving stress and really getting it all out.
Thanks for watching.
We'll let them take it away.
Bye.